Your life.
Hello, hello, good morning. How are you, everybody who's watching us right now in the Monday morning? Hi, Dave. How are you?
Hello, Szabi. I'm very well, thank you. How about you? And how about you, nice viewers all around the world?
Yeah, we have
It's
a
nice
lot
to
to.
be back.
We have, yes, after a week of break, we have a lot to talk about because we had a flight five. Jesus hell, what was going on? I'm still processing what we've seen.
Yeah,
It's been wild, such a wild ride.
yeah. I just can't find the words still. So,
Well, we should.
yeah, we should somehow because otherwise wouldn't be a commentary but live.
Ah, that was amazing.
Yeah,
That was truly amazing. I know that there was a lot of videos covering what was going on. We will tell you our thoughts about Flight 5 because it's been amazing. Before we do that, I would like to ask David to share a video link in the chat because
of course.
we happen to visit Starbase. I'm sorry. We happened to visit Starbase in 2022, and we met Maria Pointer, who used to be a Boca Chica villager. She used to live there with her lovely husband, and we did an interview with her, and we are just sharing right now this interview with you because if you watch it, you will see where Starbase started. So basically, SpaceX was her neighbor. So she looked outside their bedroom, and that was Hopper. The Star Hopper was just
Yes.
being built there. So she just saw the whole story started, and the whole reason why I'm mentioning this because it really is going to put the whole thing that happened more than a week ago with Flight 5 that how far SpaceX has gone from those early days. And we're not talking about like 2000. This is
Decades.
like, yeah, this is like 2000, what, 19?
19. Yeah. So five years.
This is just sick. Yeah, and now we've just seen what we've seen. You heard me being skeptic about the whole Flight 5. Um, for a reason, and I think I shared a skepticism of so many people for a reason. And oh boy, I was
But
so wrong.
just a comment for the Maria Pointer interview. Just so that's why she calls herself the first neighbor of SpaceX because it's true. So her house, which was demolished since then, because
Hmm.
Starbase has gotten so big that this old house was sold for SpaceX and they demolished it. So anyway, the garden of Maria Pointer was actually the very beginning of the Starbase in that
Hmm.
days, and that's why she was the first neighbor of SpaceX, and that's why she knows almost everything about the first days. And it was quite interesting that how the situation was look like that time. So it was not the safest area. Maybe it's not the safest since then either.
Let's share the screen. I'm just showing a little bit of this footage. Yep,
Okay.
sorry. Hmm.
And yeah, just one sentence that her thoughts are very inspiring because she had a quite interesting life, and we could learn from her quite much.
Yep, yep,
So
absolutely. Don't worry, this is
we
English.
recommend.
This is
Oh
not
yes,
Hungarian.
it's in English.
Very
So
important. Yes.
don't be
So
scared.
so yeah, this is just such a lovely story how SpaceX appeared at the back garden and how they started doing the ground surveys and then installing the antennas and then how the first tests happened and she was there and she just saw all of the damages and they shared the excitement. It's a beautiful story. Please watch it because it is really incredible.
Yep.
Um, and let's just roll the footage because on this very channel on Y Plus, there's an amazing video clip from the Flight 5 event, The Y photographers done just an amazing job, and obviously it's all mixed up with the SpaceX official stream. David, what happened?
When? So it was, yeah, just before the start, we just mentioned, or we just discussed that the flight 5 was 8 days ago already. So it's quite insane that how times flies by so quick. So yeah, last Monday, so not yesterday, but the previous Sunday, yeah, actually flight 5 was launched, and it was a quite shocking at the beginning of that week that SpaceX can attempt, sorry, the flight 5, because they expected the regulatory approval at least on the weekend, and they got it on Saturday night or Saturday evening, but they got it at the right time. So they launched flight 5, and yeah, I'm just still speechless, and we just have to see the photos and the videos, and they say everything, I guess. So of course we will comment everything, because that's why we are here. But yeah, it was a quite smooth ride for S30 and booster 12. I mean, the ascent, it was quite normal. I wouldn't say routinely, because flight 5 it was still a test flight, and we can't say as a routine flight, and it's still not operational. So that's important information about Starship, that it's still in the test phase. So so I don't know how many flights will be still for the testing, but hopefully maybe next year it will be operational, and I guess they can start to launch the Starlink version 2 normal size satellites, for example. But anyway, back to the flight 5. So yeah, these pictures and these videos are totally insane when the booster just came back
Absolutely.
without any problems. So previously we could see that that some Raptors just destroyed themselves, or they just didn't start. But now both the ascent and the descent phase, it was flawless, and and it was so smooth that it would have been the, I don't know, the 100th flight. But no, it was the 5th flight and the first catching attempt. That's very important, that they could catch the booster 12 at the very first attempt, and that's very important and very insane thing, that once the flight director has seen that everything looks quite nice, and it was after the boost-back burn, so the flight director had to decide already almost about 90 kilometers above from the surface, that okay, either it can go or no, it cannot go, because something doesn't look great, but everything looked great. So they had the decision, okay, we go for the catch attempt, and in the space history we could hear first time that we are go for catch attempt. So it was more than interesting, and yeah, we just have seen I guess most of the one of the most epic thing whenever, or we have seen ever.
Before we crack on with the landing, let me really highlight how important the fact is that all the Raptors worked flawlessly all the way, all of it. As far as we know, there were no Raptors out. As you just mentioned, not on the way up and not on the way down, which is, I think, a very good testimony on Raptor 2, how they work and how reliable they are, especially after Flight 4, because one went out on the way up and one went out on the way down. It did not affect too much the flight itself, but it's still very important that the reliability of these engines are hugely improving. And what I really find fascinating is that the launch is not that exciting anymore. I mean, don't get me wrong, it is, but when this happened, when the launch happened, we were not like, oh wow, that looks so great. Everybody
It's lifting off now. Okay, it's okay.
yeah. Now it's absolutely all right. Hot staging, okay. Hot staging is going on. Okay, there's nothing new about it.
Yeah, but the hot staging was quite interesting because we have seen the grid fins
Yeah, let me
after.
just pull it in because sorry, I'm just gonna play with this. Sorry. Right. So I'm gonna quickly find the SpaceX live stream because the footage of the hot staging ring is insane.
Oh
I love it
yes.
as it's falling back with the actual booster itself. Uh, if you remembered flight 4, we had an onboard view. We had an onboard view, yes. But now at flight 5, well, okay, before we go into that, actually, let me show you and tell us, please, what you think about the ascent phase. So if I, what do you think about these blue flames, guys? Tell us in the chat because this was again something. I love it that with every single flight there is something new. There is always something new that we have never seen before, despite this is now a regular sight, that uneventful way of a starship ascending,
Hmm.
right? But yeah, but then these flames. If you have gas at home, a gas hob, I think that's what it's called. You know, when you cook something and instead of electricity you use gas. Well, this is what you can see. I will show you in a sec. This.
You mean this? Yeah.
I mean, methane. But
Yes, of
this
course,
blue,
methane.
it never happened. So, do you think it was oxygen rich burn,
It's,
or is it just the lights because it
I
was
would
such
say
early time?
both. I would say both. So maybe the mixture of the propellant has been a bit oxygen rich rather than methane rich, and as you can see it from the telemetry, but that actually the booster the LOX consumption, I mean the oxygen
Mm-hmm.
consumption was a bit higher all the time during the
Mm-hmm.
ascent phase,
Yeah,
and that's
right here
because
in the
the Raptors uh, have eaten, I would
yeah
say, more
consumed.
oxygen,
Yeah.
consumed more oxygen as methane, and that's why we think, of course, we are not rocket scientists guys, so
Definitely not.
we
Mm-hmm.
just think this one that it was a bit oxygen rich, but yeah, after it the state separation was quite interesting, and we have seen only after the live show, because of course during the live we just
We were just too excited.
we just so excited to see every detail, but after it when we have analyzed everything
Yep. Yep.
deeply, then we have seen some interesting things. For example, um,
Um.
this grid fin thing, I would say, or yeah,
Yeah.
this warm up of the grid fin, because I guess it's quite abnormal, so it shouldn't be like that as always, because when SpaceX wants to reuse the booster quite fast, so not I don't know, not in 1 hour as Elon Musk said, but I don't know, 2 or 3 days.
Are you talking about now that the grid fins are moving a little bit and then moving back
No, 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 no,
again?
no. I mean,
Mm.
when you see the surface of the grid fin, when you just turning back a bit, and after the hot stage ring, sorry, the stage separation,
Yeah.
just look at the surface.
Yeah.
Look at the lines; they are a bit
Uh huh.
wavy, and that's because the
Uh.
flame. And
Oh, I
I,
see. Uh
I
huh.
wouldn't say that they have been melted, but
Uh.
they have
Well, you're not
been.
saying they
It's
have
not
been
normal.
melted, but they have
Yeah, kind of melted.
a
So
little
I
bit.
guess they have to work on it, because
Uh-huh.
when they want to reuse the booster quite frequently, so in couple of days, then of course
Uh-huh.
it's not it they can't accept that they have to change the grid fins all the time, because
Yes.
on one hand it's quite expensive, and on the other hand it would take too much time. So
Yep.
yeah,
I
they have
I
to
I
work on it.
I thought that you were referring to the movement of the grid fin because
No,
if you
that's
see,
totally normal.
yeah, no, just is it just I'm just saying this because if somebody doesn't know exactly what's the drill, so you see the grid fins are already in a No, is it? No, it's not in the
No,
tilted way.
no,
It's
not
just
yet.
not yet, but just right before the hot staging, it goes moves a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't know, a few degrees.
they will do it now, I
Um,
guess.
hmm And that it's because they are actually steering the booster with the flames. They are
Hmm.
helping to steer the booster, and that's why they are rotating the crit fin a little bit. Maybe I slowed down too much, and it takes now ages.
Yeah, and
Okay,
they
so
have
here it
they have
goes.
the separation itself with this movement. So,
Yes. Now
but
it moves, and then right after the hot staging happened with the flamey
mm,
bit, then you can see, yeah, that now it's moving back, yeah, to the original position and
mhm.
waves. Maybe it just waves bye bye to the ship.
Yes, say hello and safe flight. So yeah,
Yes.
and after it, yeah, the boost back burn was completed totally normal or
Just
normally, as Insprucker would say.
yeah, just one more
Okay.
thought. You see the rotation of the booster. This is
Yep.
very important. This is again a totally regular thing. One of the earlier flights, when this happened, then we went like, okay, what the heck is going on? Are they losing control of the booster? But this is absolutely normal, and this is against the icing inside the tanks. So this is how they trying to um, downplay
They
the
compensate the sloshing as well.
yeah, and the sloshing, yeah. And then very important is you see if you watch the left hand corner, the booster center engines from the 13 it went down to 3, and then the 0 engine
Then then
on.
then the free fall
Yes,
arrived, I guess.
yes.
Then
and
okay.
and uh, when it was falling, actually we were thinking in our own Space Junkie stream, which is Hungarian, so it's a tough call for everyone who's not Hungarian. So I don't really recommend to you unless you want to hear or listen to a very weird language. Um, so when this big puffing is going on with the booster, we initially thought that this is the Raptor, the engine chill for the Raptor engines, but actually it's not. It's you can see these ones,
Hmm.
these big plumes coming out. This is how it's turning itself around. Same
Yeah,
thing as the
these
booster is doing.
RCS.
Yeah, you can see in the middle uh, they are not as flamey as the bottom ones. That one, the top one, but these bottom ones, they are just so huge. And
Hmm.
and there goes the hot staging ring. That little tiny dot just above my cursor. It's so cool. This was like, what is going on?
It didn't want to separate, but it had to.
Yeah. So
I
basically,
I
yeah,
wanna go to my mom back.
please take me back. So basically, the bottom of the booster is turning towards us as it's sort of making a loop and coming back towards Starbase. And I think what's about to happen here, how hot the bottom of the booster became,
The
that's
burning
insane.
cigar.
Oh man, this is just such an insane moment. I loved it. It
Yeah,
was
so
amazing.
it's yeah, and compared to the Falcon 9 reentries, it's totally different. So Falcon 9, maybe as you all know, it has a reentry or entry burn when
Hmm.
Falcon 9 slows his or herself down. But the
It's
Super Heavy doesn't do it, so it's just falling back to Earth again. I don't know, 3 or more times as the speed of sound. So it's totally insane that
yeah,
how they and that's the plan originally. So it wasn't cancelled re-entry burn. It was actually not planned because Super Heavy was designed
look at
in
that.
that way
Yeah.
that it doesn't need any re-entry burn. Just falling back with 4 times of speed of sound, and that's okay.
Yep.
And that's
I
why
was.
it's looking like a burning cigar, because
Yep.
of course that's the first time we have seen such views, because of
Yeah.
course that's the first booster which is coming back like that.
Yep. I recommend you to watch Everyday Astronaut slash
Yeah.
Cosmic Perspectives live camera the footage, because it's this is incredible, and this is from Tim's live stream, and I mean, look at that. This is not the bells, the nozzles.
Also,
This is just the heat covers, basically above the engines, and they
yeah.
are glowing hot. And this is insane. Actually, I really liked Felix's reaction as well. He was just completely speechless, just like Tim. Tim went on like, instead of going like the opposite what he used to do in the previous, instead of oh my god,
Yeah, he was
he was
screaming
just like
before, but he was just speechless. He just
nothing. He
okay.
just didn't say much, just like Felix as well. And I guess because it's just so hard to comprehend what
Yes.
was unfolding in front of our eyes, it was absolutely insane.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
going
that
back to
heat
the
up
live
was
stream.
because of the trapped hot gas and hot air.
Yeah.
So the Raptors are quite near to each other, and that's why the air was trapped, and that's why it was kind of plasma
Yeah.
inside the or between the Raptors. So yeah,
In the
it
alt
looked insane.
section, yeah, that was insane. Yeah, and then
Just look at the
obviously,
speed. Look at the speed. It's 4,200 kilometers per hour.
and
And
what's
yeah,
staggering, it's still look, and this is the point. This is the point when it starts losing speed because of this the sheer air drag.
yeah.
The atmosphere is slowing it down, and look at the numbers. It's going down so fast because it's hitting the real dense atmosphere. Look, it's like 3,000 kilometers. Still, like it's dropping like crazy, and that's why it's glowing hot. Obviously.
And that's why it's coming back to an angle or like
Mhm.
that. So not totally vertical, but in an angle, because in that case, in this way, more surface is turning to the air, and that's why they can drag it more.
Yep. Hi, Felix. He is here in the chat. Say hi to Felix.
Hello.
And I can see. Just tell us what you think about this whole program, Flight 5. All the thoughts, please tell us in the chat, because we want to hear it.
And if you can stop this point,
Yeah.
the video, or
Um.
just 1 second back, or of course we can see it 100 times, because I guess it
I
wouldn't
get.
be it
I've
wouldn't be
got some
boring.
SpaceX footages. Yeah. I
Okay,
mean.
just because I want to say, when we have the live comment or the live stream, I just thought that okay, it will be totally
Yeah.
uh,
Here. Doomsday.
hit yeah, it doomsday and Armageddon and everything. It will hit the tower and everything is gone. But no, just because of the camera
Yeah.
angle, it was so tricky that of course the booster was not so near to the tower, but totally at the right on the spot.
Yep. Let me put some other footages. I mean, sorry for the look, but um, is it? Oh, okay. Okay. Yep. Um,
Okay, we just put in the
Let me see. This
live
is.
video.
Oh, no, no, no. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. Um, no, but you're just talking with Jonathan at the back end. I have it as well. Let me put it in because then I can kind of control it. Is it towards the end? The SpaceX images. Uh-huh. Okay. 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 Sorry. Let's us crack on our way. Don't worry, Jonathan. Because otherwise, we're just gonna stop the flow of the whole program. So basically, this is the Y footage, and I'm just gonna keep on. This is a raw live stream, and we are just sharing the SpaceX footages, because they are staggering. Really, it's an incredible sight. So this is again.
Just
Yeah.
look at the Raptor
Yep.
gimbal, and it's
Yep.
totally almost insane. I don't know how many times have we used, or do we you have we used the insane word, but I guess we will use it quite more time
Not enough.
today.
Not enough.
Yeah, so yeah, this landing burn is I'm speechless. I just can't
Yeah.
tell everything.
Yep.
So, and we can see the development actually of the chopstick, and that's why now we can see that's this rail, this catching
Yep.
rail, what they have built in or built built on to the chopstick actually during the last months. And that's why it was quite a big rush, because after the flight 4, I guess they have already known that, okay, they will go for the catch attempt for the flight 5. Of course, they haven't shared with us this information that the flight 5 goal, one of the goal will be the booster catching attempt. But I guess at that time, so I mean, during about middle of June, they have already known that the next flight will be the booster catch attempt, and that's why they have started to improve the chopstick or the whole Mechazilla system quite a lot. And it was a big rush because it was all around the clock, and day and night they just improved and built and constructed and welded and everything what they can do with the chopstick. They have done it. And yeah, that's the final thing. And what we have seen, that all of the systems have worked smooth. So yeah.
Absolutely. There's another footage. There's another footage I would like to share from a different angle. That basically, obviously, now somebody is doing some repair work in the house where I live. Hopefully, you can't hear that. So there's another. Okay. There's another angle I'd like to show you. This is a SpaceX drone footage, and yeah, this is insane as well. I was looking for another one where you can see how fast it's falling, and how rapidly it's slowing itself down, because there was a lot of people. I'm gonna look it up in very quick, whilst I will leave Dave talk in a second, because there's one footage where you can see how it's screaming down, and that 13 Raptor engines just slowing itself, the whole booster down so fast.
Only in seconds.
Yeah, and then you can see the gimbaling of the engines, of the 3 Raptor engines, how far it is. So if the engines has any trouble, like 10-15 seconds before landing, it just smashes down to the marshland somewhere away from the landing site.
Or maybe it could have been that the booster would have only hovering a bit and just moving it horizontally on above the Gulf, and just falling it to the water.
I think it was closer than that. If I show you the onboard footage, then it's I think it's clearly visible that it was already above the land. So if we start, let me just slow it down a bit.
I mean, they could have
So look,
pose.
this
Okay.
is now. I think this is already heading towards the land, but now we can see that it starts bringing itself down, slowing, and then we still can't see the chopsticks. Nothing. It's just right below us, and how it starts edging towards. It slowed itself down, and then slowly it did this swinging motion, basically, and how it starts sort of compensating, not hitting the tower itself here. And that's why when it was swinging towards the tower and it's sort of going against the tower, this is the point when I think from certain angle we were just certain that, okay, now
And
it's
that's the
a big bada boom,
Yeah.
a kaboom, or something like
Kaboom.
that.
Yeah.
But it's not.
And
this,
we could see from this angle that actually the booster body has been hit a bit during this last seconds of descending, but that's why these structural improvements are there on the booster. So below the the grid fin, you can see some strings, or yeah, these
stripes, yeah, it's kind of a protection.
that's a protection actually from hitting the chopsticks.
Yes.
And I guess they just scratched a bit the chopstick from inside, but yeah, it's just a scratch, so it's not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
You can see there,
Exactly.
that's the first, second hit, third hit, fourth, and bam, 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 bam. But it's totally
Um,
normal. So when when the booster was already between the chopsticks, then I guess they have known that okay, we have done it.
yes. Yes.
And shall we tell
Insane.
something about this fire on the side
Yes.
of the booster?
Yes.
Because it's not a big deal either, but actually it was planned, or it seemed to be planned, and maybe we will see it every time when a booster is coming back, because it's actually on the on that area where the this tanking adapter or tanking I don't know how to say it, or how they call it, this where the booster QD is connecting with the booster itself.
Say again. Sorry.
Never mind. I just mentioning that what's the panel? Yeah, that was the word I'm searching for. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the
I know.
booster QD panel where these lines catching or not catching, but connecting with the booster
Mm-hmm.
itself, and it was a bit remaining methane by there, and
Right here.
that's why it was a
Yep.
bit fire
Mm-hmm.
on the booster, but it was not a big deal. So
Mm-hmm.
it was not a distraction or self-destruction thing. And yeah, because Zach Gordon has mentioned that it from his point of view, it has been quite a normal thing, because it was expected. It was expected that some of methane and oxygen will just
Leak.
moving out from the booster, leaking. Yeah, but that's only a quite remaining thing. So just a couple of leaking, and it's not so big deal. All
Mm-hmm.
right, so yeah, that was the first part of
Okay.
Flight 5, but we had another one stage
Yes.
we had to follow, and that's the ship 30. But yeah, it was the less interesting thing, because as we have mentioned, or I don't know if we mentioned it already, but if not, then we mention it now, that the ship 30 was actually copy pasting the flight of the previous sister ship, the S29. So it was the same suborbital trajectory. So it was still not going to orbit technically, but it was a
Hold on.
suborbit.
Hold on. Can you read the chat, please? Because
Sure.
Felix says this wasn't luck, in my opinion. I'm not sure. Okay. I said it a few times. Landing a super heavy compared to a Falcon 9 booster isn't that much of a difference. Uh huh. Um,
Yes.
yeah. Agree. They have tons of related information
He
about.
continues. There is another
Yep.
comment.
Okay. Okay.
So Felix wrote that to the landing software, it doesn't make a big difference in if the landing surface is at the end of the legs or at the end of the catch pins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Indeed. They have tons of information how to do that, and I think that's why I was surprised, and I'm happy to be surprised. I threw my brain away because
Happy
I
to be
just
wrong.
couldn't. Yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I said it many times before. I wanna be wrong, and I don't mind to be wrong at all. This was something we were just dreaming. A lot of people said that they would like to see it, but in the hindsight, a lot of um, more than knowledgeable than us people in the community expressed their feeling that they did not expect this to happen for the first time. Second, third, maybe, but for the first time, and this was a risky move. Looking back, I think, I think SpaceX now proved to the naysayers so much, and
Fall
I
by
think
being.
yeah, I don't think that there are many headlines now saying that the Starship blew up and lost and blah blah blah. Maybe some idiots said that the second stage was lost in the Indian Ocean and completely ignoring the achievements. But
Yes, but so far the
oh,
Hungarian press
Yeah.
they are quite positive, so it's quite nice to see that they just couldn't tell or write anything wrong, because it was a
Mhm.
so flawless
Yes.
ride that they couldn't find something that, okay, that was a negative thing, and ha,
Yeah,
SpaceX couldn't do it, ha. But yeah,
indeed.
they had to acknowledge that everything was going quite perfectly.
Yes. When what was his name? Gaston Meyer.
Yes, Bill
Mr. Gaston.
Gasselmeyer.
Yeah, he was expressing that they landed the booster, the flight for like a half centimeter of an accuracy. um, I'm not too sure if it's still centimeter, maybe meter, but even if it's half a meter, I mean, now I believe it.
From 90 kilometers from the surface, that we had to
Yeah,
mention it. So
yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
yeah,
from 1 meter, but 90 kilometers.
yeah. Absolutely. And a lot of people said that, okay, how did they measure it? That the landing accuracy was so high, the level of it was so high. But now that we've seen that it was,
From
yeah,
this
it
point,
just,
I can believe everything from SpaceX. So
and to be fair, I from now on I don't know what to say, because I really expressed it so many times on our channel, in here as well, that I think it might be a mistake that they go for it, because if they take down that tower, the one before it is just, it's still a few months before it's gonna get finished, like ready to launch anything from it. And if the damage was significant on Tower 1, then it might have been a major setback for SpaceX. And how wrong I was. And I've never been so happy for being so wrong. I'm
okay,
so happy about that. Okay,
so
right.
moving to the ship, because we have
Yes.
almost at the end of our time. So yeah, the ship 30 has done the same as 30 as 29. So it was a suborbital trajectory. So they didn't try the deorbit burn. So yeah, it was a quite easy task for S30, because there was nothing nothing to test. So it wasn't
Mhm.
a payload door test. There wasn't any propellant transfer test. That there was nothing. It was just a smooth ride in suborbital trajectory, and yeah, actually it survived the plasma phase quite nicely.
Yep.
And yeah, we have seen some new angles because they have installed quite new cameras above the flaps. Yeah, that's the right. I don't know. Yeah, that's the rear right flap, I guess. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, because we were a bit confused during our live
Well, not a
stream,
bit.
that which of the
Very.
we,
Don't downplay it. We were very confused because we did
yeah.
not know, is it the forward flap or the rear flap.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we have discussed it with the community, and we could agree that, okay, it was the right rear flap, and we could see the forward flap as well on the right side, and that's actually the left rear flap. So we seen we just looking at the bottom of the ship. Yeah, and yeah, it was
I
it
was
was
I was
quite nice how they were
Katie
just
Tyson,
yeah.
Jesse Anderson was entertaining us. To be fair, I don't remember any of these because we were so busy doing our own show that
Yes.
I can't recall it. Anyway, so the
Yeah, so
plasma
the
phase.
yeah,
The
and it was quite interesting because the S30 heat shield was improved quite a lot, and that's why we would quite curious how would it work. But it would quite nice because the ship 30 was still intact when the landing burn has started. Yeah, I know it's still 79 kilometers above, but yeah, it was coming down quite nice, and it was stable all the time. Of course, we could see some heating up, but I guess that's normal in that phase, because ships has to do quite a lot things left, or how to say it. So there are still left. Okay, so there are some things to do. Okay, So the ship improvement has to be continued, but as this S30 is still a Block 1 version, I guess it's a quite old version of the ship
I don't
family.
I don't think
And
anybody was expecting miracles, to be honest, from this one.
of
It's,
course, and I guess that's why SpaceX didn't want to
yeah,
try the orbit, reach the orbit itself, because
yep.
it's an old version of Starship, so they wouldn't have very good datas from that, and that's
Mhm.
why they didn't want to have big risk. Just going to the suborbital trajectory, taking back the ship somehow. They could have some new datas, of course, from the reentry, and that's enough for them at this point.
And finally have a camera that shows what's going on. Because
Ah, yes.
Flight 5, the one that showed the I don't know, that flap sort of being smashed to almost nothing. That camera cracked, and then yeah, we just barely saw what was going on. Well, not on this
It was not a good
descent.
position on that time, but now the
No,
Flight 5 cameras
no.
survived quite
I
nicely.
mean, I mean, this one had some problem as well as we're coming down.
Mhm.
This is the clue here. You can see, luckily at the edges, it was kind of all right, but it was sort of burning through in the middle of the flap,
Yeah,
which
by the
wasn't,
hinge. Yeah.
yeah, that wasn't ideal. But I think everybody sort of, if I, how was the phrase when Armstrong and Aldrin landed? There is a bunch of guys here turning blue. We are
Yes.
happy that you are down. So I think similar was going on with half of the world. At least that half was watching the live stream, because when the glow started going away, I'm trying to, just, yeah. This is the point when we kind of, phew, okay, we are good, because now you can
Yeah.
see that this is the toasted part is kind of getting over. um yeah, so it
Yeah,
made it.
but that's the one of the last time we can see this, because the Block 2 starships will have totally different forward flaps. So the place of them and shape of the flaps will be totally different, and that's why SpaceX expects that these forward flaps will doing their job much better as the Block 1 versions.
Hmm.
That's why they improved it. So
Hmm.
the expectations will be much higher as currently, and I guess we can see the almost the same by in case of the S31 during the next flight. But if I can say something semi inside info. I just say it's semi inside info because it's almost public, but that's because of the FAA license. But the S31 trajectory will be totally the same as now by the Flight 5, or in case of the Flight 5. So the S31 won't reach the orbit either. It
On
will
flight
be
6.
on the Flight 6, and they don't want to try to catch the ship yet, because as the FAA has just concluded the flight license half a day before the Flight 5, so quite in the last hours. So as they agreed, the flight license is valid for the Flight 6 as well, until the SpaceX doesn't want to change the trajectory or the hardware a lot.
Hmm.
And since S31 belongs still to the Block 1 version starships, they don't want to change the trajectory for it, and
Shall we
that's why.
shall we just comment the landing first? Because you're already
Ah,
talking
yes,
about
sure.
flight 6.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Let's finish flight 5.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Poor S30. Okay.
We already buried
Sorry.
it
Yeah.
in the flame. What is it called? Under the sea. Very important. What's coming here, because it's not just the fact that we saw what was going on. Finally, the fact that the speed it's falling, it's insane again. I mean, we've seen it in S8, S9, S10, S15, how slow it seems to be, falling towards the ground. We have these amazing footages of the ship landing, and and when we were thinking like, okay, now phew, it's over, then all of a sudden they gave us this. And this footage is the ultimate testimony of how well Flight 5 went. I think a lot of
Yeah.
people are focusing on the booster. Quite rightly, it's a huge milestone. It's so important. But having all said that, this is the real deal for me, because it means that they went almost to an orbital speed. They came back, they went through reentry, and they landed the ship so bloody accurately that that camera on the boy just captured it. And this is something. This is what gives us the massive hope that very soon they are going to go for the ship landing as well.
Yeah. So of course we don't have any informations how many boys have been placed
Yeah,
on the
maybe
trajectory or the
100,
reentry. Yeah, we don't know, of course, but
but
there
this is
was a
very close.
yeah, there was a restricted area, so it was a quite long, more 1,000 kilometers long corridor
Yep.
where the ship came back, and of course SpaceX predicted where the ship wants to go back, coming back, and that was the place. So that's a quite accurate landing, and that's why I'm quite sure that if they want to try to catch the ships in the near future, they could do it for the first time, as now they have done with the booster. So it was quite so precise, and hopefully not the next, but maybe the second or third next flight will be in daylight, so we could see much
Exactly.
better and much more thing. Because at the landing burn, of course, the Raptors lighted the area, so it was quite almost daylight, but otherwise it was totally dark. Of course, now we're in the no man's land on the Indian Ocean. So yeah, so we would be more happy if we could see more. But yeah, that's the
That's coming.
trajectory. So it was three quarter, I guess, around the Earth. So that's why in that area it was night in that time. But
Yep.
of course, it's not it's not our how will I say, it's not for our fun. These flights, it's not for our fun, but for data collection, and that was a very good and very successful flight in terms of the ship reentry, because even that the ship didn't try the orbit burn, and the S-31 won't try it either, SpaceX could collect some data, and they are golden data.
Yep. Um, Flight 6 most likely is not going to do any of the orbit burn. Definitely not.
No,
No testing of the payload bay door. So
not
there
totally
are
the same.
there are a few things that needs to be done, but with the block 2 version is the one that is going to make a difference. But okay, let's just think about it. 2 weeks ago, nobody, maybe 2.5 weeks ago, nobody knew when this flight is going to happen. And we are at the
You mean
point,
the Flight 5?
flight 5, yeah, and we are at the point that, okay, the original plan was towards the end of November. And right now we are at the point that there might be another flight before the original date is out,
Yeah.
which is just sick. And that's why I'm saying that I don't know what to say anymore, what to predict anymore, because there was such a shenanigan between SpaceX and FAA.
It's
And right
unpredictable, I
now
guess.
it's in the air now. It's like it's never been there. 2 license granted, 1 successful flight already conducted, and there's the other one is now going on. Hopefully in a month, according to Felix. Uh, he
Hopefully you have seen the last video from
Yeah, from
Felix,
Friday,
because
exactly.
he mentioned an exact date, which is November 11th.
Yeah, but that week he gave, I think, if I remember well. But
Yeah, of course, it's
definitely,
a no earlier than date.
yep,
It's not the
yep.
exact date, but a no earlier than date. But November 11th, it's still much positive, as we have seen, as Sabi mentioned 3 weeks ago, that maybe Flight 5 could happen
Hmm.
at the end of November, and we are after the Flight 5 already, and we can expect the Flight 6 still in this year. So
Yes.
it's I guess it's a
Well,
quite
before the
positive
end of
turn.
November, which is
Yeah.
insanity. This is so cool. Okay, let's just steer back to what was going on lately because Flight 5, definitely watch if you want a full and compact summary of Flight 5. Felix is rolling these episodes out every Tuesday and Friday. So please watch them because it's full of information and he summarized it way much better than we do with our poor English. But yeah, definitely watch those episodes. What we are trying to mention during this whatever time has left from this program.
Seven
First,
minutes.
no, I mean we're not gonna be sharp out because I
Of
mean
course, I'm just kidding.
it's Flight 5 needs to be pointed out because that was crazy. There is a new picture appeared at
Oh yes.
Starbase. I mean, yes, we've seen them covering that parking lot, and we thought that it's a windbreaker or some sort of insulation. Well, it's not. This is
Eh.
something. Yeah, this is something
Pause.
amazing. Yeah, I mean, look at this. This is amazing. This is Highway 4, so from the bottom towards the up of the picture, and this is what welcomes everybody who's arrived to Starbase. I mean, this is just gorgeous. They should do the same thing with the high base and the back of it. No, okay, I'm joking.
Yeah,
Um,
it would be much better if the base would got this nice Mars decals or something.
yeah, image.
But when
This is
when
this is Maria Pointer's photo from this morning, I think,
yeah.
and there's another photo from Sean, the water body, one of the water body photographer. This is another one. So yeah, it's a pretty picture. I love it.
And when it comes to creativity, I guess the first we can mention is SpaceX. So,
Yep.
so who could predict this parking garage will have this nice picture about
Hmm.
about the Mars. So
Lovely decoration.
and
Yeah, I
and
mean,
and
yeah,
hope and
beautiful.
hopefully it will be real still in our life. And maybe I'm too optimistic, but I would be more than happy if we could see this photo, not on the Earth but on the Mars.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Someday maybe.
Let's get to moon first.
Ah
Okay,
yes.
let's see. Let's take a look at the Sanchez area because we have spotted a few things over there. Let me just find those photographs and we can just cover that because there are some lovely things appearing there. Really briefly.
Yeah, so the second OLM, so the structure of the new orbital launch platform is building. Yeah, we can't see it on that photo, but doesn't matter. Which is what we can see on this photo. The new, yeah, we can see the OLM. Okay, we won't skip it because we know that you want to see it. So yeah, it's totally different as the currently operating orbital launch mount. And it won't be a launch mount. Actually, it won't be a launch platform, so it won't be 18 meters high as the currently operating, so the pad A OLM. And it won't be a round thing or a round shape, but a rectangular shape. And yeah, they just putting everything quite nicely together. And yeah, it taking shape all the time. So not the flights, not only the flights doing the life exciting these days, but the pad B
Mhm.
construction is quite interesting and quite exciting
Mhm.
because it's taking shape all the time, week by week. So we at least we can see the OLM pad B itself. So the pad B OLM, sorry. And yeah, I don't know how much or how many pieces will get here still, but it will be quite a huge structure.
Are we gonna keep an eye on it? I mean, I don't think there's much to say because this been here in the
And
past few
sorry,
years.
if we can zoom in totally as you can, we can see, I guess,
What?
on the OLM or
Hmm.
the structure
The platform.
and the platform. So if we don't count the edges, we can see totally 20 inside, I don't know, channels, and it's not accidentally, because that's for the 20 outer Raptor QDs. So when you
You mean
count
those
them,
bars? You mean those bars that
yeah,
between the inner and the
and
outer
I
section?
guess that's my opinion, but between the bars, the Raptor QD connections will be just installed. And it's
Okay.
and I counted it, so maybe you can trust me that it's in total 20, and it's not
Why I'm not
accidentally.
surprised. Yeah.
Yeah, because yeah, I just thought that, okay, there are too many bars, and okay, I tried to count them, and it
Yep.
it it took 20. So,
Hmm.
and it's not, and it's because the 20 outer Raptors, but yeah, they're just a nice comment from
Hmm.
myself. But
No,
of
what
of course,
I believe you. I believe you.
okay, and of course, we don't want to waste any more time on the structure. Uh, I don't know what do we have
Let's.
still.
Yeah, we have the office building, which is on the left-hand side. So this area, this is coming nicely together. They are covering the rest of that sort of area, the inside area. Here on the left, we used to have this football field. We used to just call it, which is now changed ownership and belongs to SpaceX. And basically, here you can
Finally.
see. Yes, and finally they are covering this bit as well. Most likely this whole area gonna be covered. The
And they have
front.
cleaned the roof of the Star Factory, because it was totally dirty, but it's
Hmm.
quite nice and white again.
Hmm. Okay, I didn't notice that. Um, this bit is getting nicer as well, so most likely it's gonna receive its front sort of glass
Mhm.
cover. We got some ground photos which shows that it just looks so neat. I really like how Starbase is coming nicely together. It really looks like we said this before. It's really becoming like a proper, beautiful factory, clean, no mess around. It is just beautiful. I mean, it's nothing like what we saw 2 years ago. It's
Yes.
so wild to say 2 years and what 3 months ago we've been there. There were no Mega Bay 2. Mega Bay 1 was just about to be built, right? Onion
About
ends.
that, yeah.
Yeah, Mid Bay was in existence. No
Low
parking lot.
low bay. That
Yeah,
was
low
still
bay.
the low bay there, or the windbreaker. It was the other nickname of this first hangar.
Yeah, yeah, unbelievable. The transformation that it's going through.
It
It's
changed so much.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. One more thing I need to show you. We're just gonna rush, not rush, but I'm gonna speed it up a little bit. There is one footage from Anthony Gomez, who owns Rocket Ranch, which is something sadly we missed when we were there. He recorded this footage when the Booster 12 was
The hero
arriving
came
there.
back.
Yeah, the hero. Yeah, the sung hero. This is not the unsung. This is the sung hero.
Yeah.
And it's back to the sorry, the production site, and all the engineers are basically surrounding it and
Hmm.
cheering and welcoming it. I mean, this is a first for sure. I mean, and look at the area again. This is what I was saying. That it's so clean, so
Yes.
factory like. So I love it. I love it. This is another level now. Yeah.
And just a quick comment, because we have gotten quite a lot of questions about the fate of the Booster 12. So we don't know the exact goal of SpaceX, but what's for sure that they will taken out, or they have already taken out the Raptors, and they send them to McGregor, and they will test everything from out of them.
Hmm.
So they will collect some data, because yeah, they are the first Raptors which gotten back. So
Hmm.
they could have nice data from them, And yeah, but the booster 12 is still at the Mega Bay 1 or in the Mega Bay 1, but the current phase we don't know it.
I
And
think when was it rolled back? Do we know?
on Tuesday,
Is it possible that that's Booster 12 in there?
can be.
Hmm. Or is it
Yeah,
13?
they look totally the same. So booster
Sure.
12
Yeah.
and 13 and 14 and already 15 looks totally the same. So
Hmm.
it's hard to tell which booster we can see here.
They should have
Uh,
decals on it.
yeah, this very big decals.
Elongated decal from the top to the bottom. Booster 12. Yeah.
Booster 12, yes.
Yeah, with like 5 O's in.
Yeah,
Okay.
Halloween comes anyway, so boo. Okay, so
Right.
and as last topic, the shape of
The
the
launch
OLM or
site.
the and it's quite intact, so it's it's a
Hmm.
nice and big news that the the refurbishment won't take too much time, maybe a couple of weeks, and that's why SpaceX can plan the Flight 6 quite in the near future.
Hmm.
And the one of the thing is all the time the OLM and its refurbishment. But as we can see, out of or except of some of charred elements, we can see the OLM is quite in a good shape. So yeah, of course, they started to started the refurbishment on Tuesday, I guess. So they didn't waste any time, and they are in quite a big rush. But that's of course okay, and it's good for us because we don't have to wait too much time for the Flight 6. And yeah, of course, there are some other things on
Just
chopsticks.
before you crack on, I can't
Okay,
I cannot hold back not to notice this bicycle here. this is
yeah,
this
poor
is something you
bicycle.
don't really see too often at Star. I mean, I've seen people cycling I mean, at the launch, sorry, the production site, but this is I kind of like this photo. This is so
Yeah,
cool. Sorry.
no problem. So yeah, so there are some refurbishment jobs on or not jobs, but works on the OLM on the chopstick. And the other good point that the SQD survived quite a good, so survived in a good shape as well. So because maybe you remember that it was all the time coming uh, back
Yeah,
or a bit. Yeah, just
hanging.
hanging sadly that okay, I was destroyed again and again. But now after the flight 5, it's in a very good shape. So maybe it needs only a, I don't know,
Hmm. They
couple
already
of
scaffolded
days.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah,
Is it the
from
scaffolding?
outside it, yeah,
Uh,
of course that it's not the scaffolding, but
uh-huh. Like
the
a
structure
platform.
itself.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's all already a good point that
Yeah.
finally I guess they have solved this problem all the time with the SQD.
Yeah.
And yeah, so basically everything is in good shape, and they don't need any big refurbishment, so not months, maybe a couple of weeks only.
Isn't it a little bit of irony, or yeah, I would call it an irony, that by the time they actually going to improve everything with the OLM and chopsticks and I think the way how the water dilute system is working and how well it's performing lately, that they have basically zero problem with it. Um, by the time they're gonna get to a point that it's actually working well, it looks like they're going to get rid of this design, because if the other way works out, if, as Felix was saying in the Friday episode, that they might have the launch platform area is removable and
Hmm.
swappable. So imagine that they're gonna have this longer shape, that traditional shape, flame diverter and the whole structure, and basically the that bit that gets the biggest hit during a launch and re-entry, just take it out, you put another one, and in the meantime you refurbish the one that you already taken out. So they I don't know, make two or three of them, and they can just keep on launching, because after every launch they just take that very weak point basically of the launch mount or launch, what do you call, structure. Then they
Platform.
can just, yeah, they can just ramp it up the way that it cannot be done with the OLM. It's
Yeah,
very,
so the
very
pad B will look like totally different as pad A, and I wouldn't be surprised when the pad B will be already operating, then they will reconstruct the entire pad A as well.
Yes.
Because of course it will be pain in the
backside.
backside, yeah.
That's
But
way.
they win on long term much a lot, as they would have they would have to do the refurbishment all the time after flight after flight after flight. So it will take a longer time at once, but otherwise I guess it's needed, because otherwise the pad A won't be used quite intense and quite a lot of time.
Very
And
important.
and it's a disadvantage.
These are prototypes. These are not a sealed and ready concepts. They are finding. These are pathfinders. They are trying to
Of
find
course, yeah.
the launch structure that can do the job as frequently as SpaceX want to do it. So if Pad B or the second tower gonna work out well, I'm sure they're gonna get rid of the tower one, and they just gonna, not tower one, but the launch platform,
Yes.
and they're just gonna redone it, and that's it, easy peasy. One thing, we call you to a game, because within our community, in the Space Junkie community, there was a very good question, and we would like to hear your thoughts. What do you think about the ship catch attempt? And namely, how do you think is gonna approach here back to Starbase? So let's assume future flight, whatever, flight X, there will be an orbital attempt.
SpaceX
And
Flight X.
yes, and basically the ship is going to go on an orbit around Earth, and then they decide, okay, let's bring it home, here back to Starbase. We've been thinking about that it might approach Starbase over the land. Is that okay? Is it something that's acceptable for FAA? Is it something that is something that's feasible, because it's not approaching from the water, or maybe we are thinking wrong? We would like to hear your thoughts, because I think it's a very intriguing question, that exactly how they're gonna do that, how the ship is going to approach this landing site and eventually land. The landing, we can have a picture about it, but I mean, an idea. But how is it? Or what direction, and is it going to fly over the land? You know the gist of what I'm trying to awkwardly say here. Tell us in the comment, in the chat, and in the comment, mostly in the comment.
Just one thought that when we think about the space shuttle reentries, when they came back to the KHC, so the east side
Yeah,
of the US, they just flown
RP was
totally.
just saying that. Yeah. In
Yeah,
the chat.
so
Yeah.
they just flown totally almost
Over
the
the land.
entire US
Uh-huh.
mainland. So I guess it won't be a problem, because if the ships coming back to the Starbase, these narrow middle Americas, so the Mexican side or Mexican area is not so big land, I would say. And that's why it won't take too much risk, I guess. But that's only my opinion. And
Yeah,
yeah,
tell
but
us,
we will see.
definitely. Please tell us in the, not in the chat, because we are going in a second, but tell us in the comments that what you think about this. We would like to hear your thoughts. Thank you very much for being here with us. Definitely, please stay tuned. On tomorrow, there's a new episode coming out on the main channel, and obviously on Friday. If you haven't been subscribed to this channel, What About It Plus, or the main channel What About It, which just surpassed 500,000 subscribers, which is awesome. And by the time we said it, it's already 511,000 subscribers, which is an amazing milestone for the Y family. So please become
Big applause.
part of
Woohoo.
the family. Definitely support what they are doing because it's incredible. The photos, the live feed, the coverages, the episodes. It's incredible, and we are honored to be here and be part of it
Yes.
as a Space Junkie Hungarian team. So definitely, please support, show your support, whatever you can. Even a like can go to a long way. So please do your best. And I think we are coming back on Monday. Hopefully,
Mm-hmm.
nothing comes to the to stop us from doing that. Um, and I think there's nothing else to do, just to say goodbye.
Say goodbye.
All right, take care, guys. Thanks for being us. I think we had a record amount of people watching us live. Thank you very much, and we see you next Monday. Take care. Have a lovely week. See you guys. Bye bye.
Take care, guys. Ciao.